Welcome to AI Unscripted. And the first question will be: who are you and what do you do?
Okay, hello. My name is Braeden. I am, well, I guess a software developer slash kind of a founder now. Working on building basically a chess app that makes it more fun and helps people improve faster at chess using AI.
This is great. So, it's named Chasky, correct? So, what is this Chasky and who is it for?
All right, so Chessky, like I said, it's an app that you can play chess on, and the idea that it will teach you how to improve a little bit faster using AI. And it's primarily for like people who enjoy playing chess online. So like anyone who plays on chess.com, like just kind of wants to be good at the game but doesn't really know how or doesn't know how to learn. It's kind of for them.
And why did you decide to build it specifically this app, not anything else?
Right. So I'm a pretty like avid chess player myself. Like I've been playing for a couple of years, and I always found like I really enjoyed the game, but I was like kind of kept losing, and I always plateaued like at a certain point. So I'm about like 1300, and like I've been there for like 2 years, and like I can't get past it. So I kind of built it for myself at first, which is just like a way to help me get better at the game, and then I decided like I can probably help other people as well, and just like share it with everybody.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And did you have any other like ideas before that, or is it that was just number one what he wanted to build?
I've worked on a couple other things in the past. Like I was in the crypto space for a while. I worked with Web3 in Solana and like on
Solana.
some
Oh
smart
wow.
contracts, some NFT marketplaces and stuff like that. But this is like Chesky is the thing I've been working on for the longest now, and it's kind of the most far along of all of my projects, I guess.
And did it start as a side project, or is this something that you just decided to dedicate all your time for?
Yeah, so I actually started during nights and weekends at S4 with Build Space. So like it started as kind of like a side project that I was gonna spend like my free time on, and then Build Space I guess like I worked out through nights and weekends at Build Space, and I was working on it like almost every day, and then trying to make it get better. And like as I thought improve more and more, I just like kind of I felt like I wanted to do it more. If that makes sense. Like as I got more traction, I was like more motivated to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And from can you? I'm always interested in like technical details, how people actually build, just
Sure.
for others and for myself. So can you like dive deep in technical aspects if you can, and particular how the this platform enhances the chess playing experience?
Sure. So well, it's a combination of a couple things. Obviously, there's the chess aspect, which is like rendering it on the board, a couple of npm packages. Stockfish is a chess engine that actually runs in the background that is getting like the evaluation and like telling you the best move and all that kind of information. And then
Mm-hmm.
the natural language part of it is GPT. So like I'm making API called to OpenAI, data to like describe chess positions and like give user advice based on certain things. So like that's like kind of a general overview of how it works, and then I kind of splice those things together in unique ways to like give the user a good experience. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can go into the feature set. So right now there's three main features. There's like a play feature where you will actually play against like an engine, and then you can ask for advice from it as you're playing,
Mm-hmm.
for, like what to do. There's an analysis feature which will actually analyze your games that you played on like chess.com or other websites, and then it will like tell you like where you made mistakes and then explain to you like why those moves are mistakes and help you like learn from those going forward. And then there's the puzzle feature, which is the most recent, which basically it will understand like it will analyze all your previous game history and like come up with like where your weaknesses are, and then it will generate like well not generate but like find puzzles that will like help you enhance those weaknesses, like help you train them basically.
Okay. Okay. And
Yeah.
I'm curious, is the information like, do you have like specifically trained model for that, or is just general GPT 4.0?
Yeah, so right now I'm just using base like the base GPT-4 model, It's just like different prompting. Like I'm giving it like the stock, like information from stockfish, information from like different chess, like chess theory and things like that, to actually get it
Mm-hmm.
to behave a certain way, and then prompting it in a very like specific way to get it to actually
Mm-hmm.
like output the right things. Um, the prompting is still like one of my biggest challenges. So like
Mm-hmm.
getting it to not hallucinate, because like GPT is famously known for hallucinating chess positions. So you have to like be clever about like where you're using it and when you're using it, so it doesn't like start like making up things to the user.
I see. I see. And yeah, I don't know much about chess specifically, but I've seen the probably your biggest competitor, let's say chess.com. Like, how is that your you know, product is different from chess.com? What do you offer that they don't?
Right. So chess.com primarily a way for people to like play chess. They also have obviously methods to help you improve at chess. Like they have like lessons or like courses that people grandmasters have done, and like ways that take you through them and teach you different concepts. The way Chesky is trying to be different is first of all making it more personalized. So right now, like a lot of the material on chess.com is like generic, like it's very helpful, but you have to like pick and choose like what the right thing to like actually focus on is. In
Hmm.
my experience, it's not like the lack of information that's online. It's just like how do I know like what the most important thing to focus on
Mm.
like for me right now is, and I think that's what AI help is helping me, and like what I'm trying to do for other people is like use AI to analyze their weaknesses, their playing style, and their like everything that's specific to them, and then give them like very targeted training that's going to help them improve specifically.
Oh, that's cool. So it's more personalized. So it's you can find out where do you plateau. So then you can target those and just practice those areas instead of just doing random stuff. You know. Okay,
Exactly.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I would imagine, do you have like memory for each person, or is it just tries to? Oh, really? Memory. Okay, that's
Like
amazing.
basically like in my database I store like different like I guess profile for each user, and then the
Mm-hmm.
AI is able to like generate this profile for a new user, and then it just consistently updating. So like whenever it gets like new game data or like sees a new thing, it will update the stores like basically its memory of whatever that user is or whoever that user
Mm-hmm.
is, and then when it's generating or when it's like getting the data for the next thing that it wants to like give you like, oh, what do you need to train next, what puzzle are you going to do, what opening should you study, all that kind of information, it's going to query that its memory and then pick the best thing.
Okay, I see. So you're providing context for the AI, but you're not using the new that they just rolled out, the memory feature. You know what I'm talking about? That ChatGPT has this memory feature where you can tell it to remember something, and it will store it
Mm.
on its own little like memory. And when you look at it, it gives you all the stuff that it remembers about you specifically.
I haven't heard about that. That's actually interesting. I'll look into it.
Yeah, yeah. Do you use GPT on your like phone?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think
use
if you go
OpenAI.
there, yeah, they I think you need to enable it. I don't know if it's by default or not, but it will be able to you will be able to see what it remembers about you specifically. So it's persistent over new chats. Like whenever you open and you can ask something, it will give you
Is
information that
that
remembers about you.
is that in ChatGPT or in the app, like or in the
uh
API?
it's ChatGPT. And that's why I was asking, because I was curious if it's already, if they allow it to use it through API, because I
Oh
haven't
no,
seen it on their website. But
I haven't seen it in the API, the
okay,
documentation yet.
I see. But
But
yeah, this is available in their own
okay,
app. Yeah. So that's always pretty interesting. So I assume that you already have quite a few users. So what has been the most surprising user feedback that you received, and how has it influenced the evolution of Chasky?
um, most significant user feedback, I guess. Well, so my main distribution channel is Instagram right now, and well,
Instagram.
like for me,
I would not.
pardon me.
Instagram. I would never guess Instagram would be popular with like chess community. I did not know.
It's pretty big, yeah. But yeah, that's like my main. Like, I get people primarily through Reels. That's how they usually find out about the app the first time. And so what I'm kind of discovering is, well, obviously people are using Instagram on their phone, so then they go to Chesky, they want to look at it on their phone. So the
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing is like making me go like more mobile first. Because originally I was
Mm-hmm.
building it as a web app. I was just like, oh, I'm going to like for myself. I'm like I'm going to sit and study chess like on my computer. It's going to be like kind of where I'm going to be learning primarily. But I guess that's the biggest thing. Like I guess the biggest change in like from myself to like actually listen to my users is just like mobile is going to be a really important part for me, a really
Mm-hmm.
important piece for me because like that's where most people are. So like making the experience just really good on mobile. That's kind of my next big direction, next big change I need to do.
Mm-hmm. And can you open it right now in mobile? Like not natively, but just in the website or something like that.
Yeah, so like the web app can open on your browser. Yeah, of course. The experience for that is like still kind of shaky, but
Okay.
I've been trying to make it. I've been trying to focus on it more and more over the past couple of weeks, at least. But yeah, I think the mobile app is going to help a lot with, first of all, like actually getting people back to the app because like it's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
lot easier if I can send them a notification and then just like ping them and tell them to open the app again on their phone, rather than telling them like, hey, open your browser and then like type in this link and then go here and do this. So I think that will be good in terms of retention as well.
Okay, it's I'm excited to see. Where do you want to take Chesky in the future? Like, what's your near or farther term plans for this app?
Yeah, I think I've been thinking about this slightly more over the past couple of weeks. Is I think if Jesky's really gonna have like a real shot at being, I guess I can use the word adoption, adopted by a lot of people, is like it has to be like really good experience and it has to be like kind of the place that you think of when you want to go and play chess. Because like right now that place is chess.com, right? If anybody
Yeah.
says like, oh, I want to play chess, they go the first thing they think of is chess.com. So I kind of have
Mm-hmm.
to switch people's mindset to like I want to go play chess. I want to play. I'm gonna go play chess on Chesky instead. So I think making the user experience like really good and like I said, like going back to personalization. If I can make like that piece really important, because like I don't know how much you play chess yourself, but like I play pretty frequently, and I guess one of the biggest pain points apart from like not getting better is like when I want to train like a specific opening, right? Or when I want
Mm-hmm.
to train like a specific skill, I can't like guarantee somehow that the next person they match me against is gonna like play that line or like help me practice that way. But if I have
Mm-hmm.
like a basically I'm gonna start envisioning Chesky as like your chess buddy, like your digital chess buddy. That's just gonna help you
Mm-hmm.
improve at chess. So it's like it's gonna know everything about you. It's gonna understand your playstyle and like what you want to do, and you're gonna be able to like tell it like, hey, I want to play this line or I want to practice like this opening, and it's gonna be able to play that with you, and it's gonna be able to like help you learn throughout that experience as well. So like you're not kind of mindlessly just like moving pieces around. You're actually like getting better at the game as well. I think that's gonna be at least interesting for people.
Yeah, it's interesting direction. I see it. I like the personalization specifically because yeah, it's I guess uh, the most personalized in chess.com that I've seen you get is like the puzzles kind of because you can just replay the same thing, right?
Mm.
And there is no like yeah, I haven't seen there introduce any AI stuff like that can just train you on the very specific direction that you want to improve on. Yeah, it's that's pretty cool. um what is your process when like building chess? Do you have some like things that you can share, want to share, like that may be different from other people that you've seen in like build space, you know?
Could you repeat the question one more time? What is my process?
uh what is your process when building Chasky? Like, do you come up with features and then go, or you just like sit down, start building something, and look for things to improve?
Yeah. So I guess my process has kind of changed as like the app has like, or as I've been kind of working on it for longer. Like
Mm-hmm.
originally, it was really just me. Like I'd think of an idea. Like how when I first had the idea for Jessica, I just kind of sat down. I just started building. I was like, what would I want? And then I just started like trying to make that. Um, as I started like developing it more and more, and I got more people using it and like getting more feedback, I guess it was more thinking about like, okay, what is Chesky actually going to do, and like how, like what is its I guess primary use case going to be, and like how do I see people using it? So like that's kind of the question I'm asking myself more and more now. So like the things I was building when I first started, which was maybe like 5 or 6 months ago, were like okay, how can I make this like better for me? Versus now I'm asking like how can I make this like a really engaging experience for the user? Like what's gonna be the biggest thing that's going to, I guess, like what's going to be the thing that I can do right now that's going to make the biggest impact and like improve the user experience the most, for
Mm-hmm.
like the people that are using it. So like right now, like I said, that's building the mobile app because that's going to be like what most people are struggling with, like that I've seen. And then after that, it's like increasing, like improving, like the personalization and improving like the different features uniquely. Um, but yeah, like that's kind of how I'm thinking about it now.
Okay. And I'm curious, what other interesting projects have you built before? Because you mentioned that you did work in Web3, worked with Solana, with some NFT projects. And I feel, because I remember Build Space kind of started from like Web3 and moved into more general.
Yeah,
And at some point, even encompassed like creators, not only like software developers and stuff.
yeah. So that's actually when I found out about BuildSpace. Like how I got into Web3 was through BuildSpace. Is like their
Oh.
first Ethereum like build a smart contract, like their, what do they call them, projects or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I got into the space. I did a couple of the build space projects like really early on, like maybe 2021, and
Mm-hmm.
then I kind of like enjoyed that. It was my first time really getting into web development as well. It's like learning how to make
Okay.
React apps and like learning how to like actually having other people use my things because I was like computer science student, right? So I was studying like computer science at school. Only software I the only software that I'd built that had been used by people was like used by my TAs and used by like my professors, right? And like obviously myself. So my
Yeah.
first time actually like pushing things for other people to use, which was like really interesting. Um, so yeah, in the Web3 space, I started out actually building another like a different chess app that was in like Web3 is like I call it like chaos chess. Basically, you could like every move was like a transaction on the blockchain, and then you
Mm.
could like play against everyone in the world. So like anyone can make a move at any time. It was just really weird. Like, it didn't really
So,
make sense because like you had to pay
that
money
sounds like a chaos.
to play chess.
It's so
But
expensive. Every move is so
yeah,
expensive. It's like the transaction doesn't go through. It's like
yeah.
congested.
So it wasn't the best idea, but it was like my first kind of project, and it was pretty interesting to me, anyways. Um,
Hmm.
and then I got into the NFT space like soon after that. I was like kind of a degenerate, just like build like buying into random NFT communities, like
Hmm.
just talking in their Discord for hours and just like doing random stuff. Um, and then I kind of realized that a lot of these different communities had a similar problem, which was they all want to like have their own, they want to like have their NFT listed on a marketplace, right? But then like the marketplace has high fees, and the marketplace is going to like doesn't give you much freedom. So I actually ended up building a platform which is like a marketplace as a service, which would let your NFT community like build your own marketplace that would host your, like you could basically
Mm.
buy and sell NFTs, and then you
Hmm.
you could take the trading fees, you could like personalize it to your user experience, and like it had other features too, like staking, which was really big for whatever reason for NFTs, and like the like different like token trading and all that kind of stuff. Um, and so that
Hmm.
was kind of, I guess, my like first big scale like actual project that I was trying to get other people to use in the
Hmm.
space. Um, actually, that like I started that idea out myself, but then I found another like company that was actually working on like a similar product, and then I ended up working with them and just like building out that product for about 8 months, I think. Um, yeah. After that,
Hmm.
kind of got boring. NFT space kind of died. I kind of lost interest a little bit.
Like
Moved
everyone
on.
else did.
Pretty much.
Yeah, there was very hot burn, and then it died.
Yeah.
I mean, it still kind of exists. It's just I think it was just so ridiculously overhyped
Yeah.
that yeah, it burned itself out. But so I'm curious, it was it you said Solana? Did you work with like Ethereum based EVM chains?
No, so mostly Solana. Like I started out on Ethereum. The first project, the chess thing that I built was on Ethereum, but then I
Oh,
moved to
that's why it was
Solana.
so
Just
expensive.
was very expensive. Um, and then yeah, Solana was just like cheaper, faster. Didn't have to worry
Oh
about
yeah,
transaction costs. So I was like, okay, let me just go over there and build.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Unless they like shut down for like 18 hours or something and don't
I mean,
work.
that didn't happen when I was there. Maybe it's happened since.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember some guy was like talking about it because he was so excited. It was like, oh, EVM will die. And this that same day, it was like Solana was down for like 18 hours. I thought the irony was so hilarious.
Yeah, people always have big opinions about like which crypto is gonna like flip out
I
which other
know.
crypto, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, buddy.
Yeah, it's very ideological space.
Yeah,
Everyone's fighting each other. Who's
yeah.
number one? So let's go back. So did you have maybe some other crazy ideas that you considered working on, or maybe after this project that you would consider, maybe like using
Um,
AI, maybe going back to crypto even?
yeah. So before I actually started Chesky, so like in between the NFT marketplace and then starting Chesky and Buildspace S4, it was like beginning of 2023. So like I just left my job at the crypto company, and I was just like, I was still like a crypto maxi. I still like really believed in the thing. I just didn't think NFTs were the way anymore. So what I actually ended up trying to do is like basically build Stripe, but for crypto. So I was like
Mm-hmm.
trying to accept payments or help merchants accept payments through cryptocurrency, usually USDC. So I built that out. It was like a really, really shitty application. That was
Mm-hmm.
actually my Build Space Season 3 project. So um, yeah, I mean that didn't really go anywhere. I could hardly get anyone to use it. What I really learned is that like nobody has a crypto wallet, so like nobody wants to get paid in crypto because no one
Yeah.
has crypto to spend. So yeah, that was another thing that like drove me away from the crypto space a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Uh,
And now I guess everyone is like AI is like a new crypto or blockchain thing because I recently seen like people were putting AI into their company like they used to do blockchain if even if it didn't have to do anything about that. Like it was so hilarious that on that point, what is your favorite AI tool so far?
AI tool. I use Perplexity a lot actually.
Mm,
Um, so I used to use like ChatGPT for like most of my things whenever I need to like search for anything, like get information. But
mm-hmm,
now I find Perplexity is pretty good at like first of all like it's free, and like I think their free version is like free plan is like very like I don't even know if you need to pay because I don't know what
mm-hmm,
else you get from paying to be honest. Um, but yeah, like it's good because it can basically search the website and then like summarize the results for me, so I don't have to actually like look through articles and stuff. So that's been
mm-hmm.
the most helpful thing for me so far, or recently, anyways.
Okay, okay. And do you have any prediction since you're working with AI, like for the future of AI, how it's going to develop, where it's going to
Hmm.
go? What do you expect, for example?
Um, I mean, I have one expectation that I think is like reasonable. Is like AI is going to keep getting cheaper and faster. So I think people are going
That
like
would be
it's
great.
going to get better. It's going to get cheaper. Going to get faster. So I think like building with it now is probably the
Mm-hmm.
best thing you can do because like even when GPT 4.0 just launched, was it a couple weeks ago, last week? Like I put it into my product doubled in speed, and it halved in price for me to run it. I was like, I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah,
So I
I mean
think
that's great upgrade.
exactly. I think like we can expect a little bit more of that. But in terms of like how I think it's going to be used, like in general, I haven't thought too much about it. To be honest, like I know a lot of people are thinking like, oh, AGI, what is that going to mean? Like I don't even know what the definition of AGI is, so I don't try to
Mm-hmm.
speculate too much on like what it's going to look like, because I can't predict it. Um, but yeah, I think or what I'd like to happen, I'll say, is just like something that I don't know, like something like Chesky, but for like your entire life. So like it understands who you are. It has like all of the context on like your life and like what you do, and then
Mm,
it can just kind of help you like either think through things, teach you things, or just like kind of I don't know, just like be like a basically like second storage, like second brain for you, like digital storage of
mm-hmm.
like yourself, and then it'll just like help you think through things, and then help you learn whatever you need to do. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Like one really big upgrade, I think, if we can make AI like proactive. So like instead of me having to ask it for something, it just like it understands what I'm gonna need and it can tell me that thing, I think that'd be like amazing. Um, but when that's gonna happen, how that's gonna happen, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, that's probably the next feature from OpenAI. I mean, I'm was pretty surprised even from their presentation of the new version, where especially the voice feature, because that was mind blowing. That not only was, it was listening to you and not interrupting like it always does, but it was also vision, and it was understanding the surroundings, like
Yeah,
who it talking to. It was pretty great to see how far they got in like this short of a time. And I think with the context, I think if you do you have a paid version of GPT-4,
yeah.
ChatGPT, right? So
Mhm.
the app, right? I think the one that you described, like understanding you as a person, they already kind of building it out, and I was testing it. And yeah, like I filled it up with a bunch of information about me, or sometimes it will just remember something, but usually I have to prompt it. I have to ask
Mm.
it like, hey, save it to memory, or commit it to memory, following with whatever I'm trying to say, and then it's gonna summarize and save it for later. And then when I need it, I was like, hey, can you recall like what was this about? Like, yeah, I was
Mm.
doing like to-do lists like on the go. If I don't have anything, I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, I need to do this and this and this, and then come
Mm.
back home and it shows up. So yeah, but I
Oh,
think again you need to enable it manually if it's not by default on, because there's like privacy, so they don't
yeah.
want to like be too invasive. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen a lot of like AI wearable type stuff.
Oh yeah.
I know like
Rabbit.
there's Rabbit. I haven't actually seen too much about that, but I know like one of my friends actually bought one. I haven't actually talked to him about like how he likes it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But Rabbit's cool. Like the tab, I have a couple friends like building like wearable necklaces. That are just like kind of kind of what I was talking about. Like you talk to it and it remembers things for you, and then it can just like kind of give you notes on like what you see or what you said in a day. Like that
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that's kind of interesting. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I think like that kind of idea I think is pretty cool. I don't know, like I'm not gonna give like too many opinions about like privacy. I don't know. I think our parents had like a very different generation like definition of privacy than we did. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
if our kids are like just really comfortable with like talking like having AI record everything, like keeping that saved somewhere, like I wouldn't be surprised to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think that's gonna be like really interesting to see like who kind of wins out in that space. Yeah, my friend, like another person I met in SF when I was at Build Space, is building like an AI teddy bear, which is really really cool. It's
Teddy bear.
like basically able to teach kids like different things, like just like kind of like an AI friend for a kid, but inside a teddy bear because that's like already something like kids play with today. So just like
Mm-hmm.
giving that more like capabilities, more knowledge. I think that with GPT 4.0 and like be able to like recognize surroundings, like remember things about you, I think that'd be like really, really like kind of crazy to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, that would be fun and creepy and fun. I don't know which one.
Yeah, so they can
Like
see
it's
they can
compared to
always
our like, yeah, like grandparents, like when they thought that social security was crazy, show them what we have now. It was like the your phone knows where you are, what do you do. It even knows, like Facebook knows when you like, go to restroom, like how crazy precise they are with like your activity. Yeah, I mean, we can only embrace it and see what happens.
yeah, it's gonna be a wild ride. I think like I don't know. I think in the next 10 to 20 years, like it's gonna be wildly different to like what it actually looks like today, and like it's gonna be like so drastically different. We can't even predict it, so we just kind of have to see what happens.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, I heard a fun definition for AGI is like when you make a to-do app, and you make an app where it takes all the to-do list and just does it for you. That's like the best AGI. You just wake up next day like everything is done. What do you want next?
That'd be
Like the
cool.
best the ultimate to do app.
It does it for you.
Yeah, why not? You just like, hey, I need to do this and this and this. You wake up next day and just like it is complete.
Yeah,
Make me a
I guess
hundred
like
bucks.
like what would be even further than that is like it doesn't. You don't even have to tell it like what the to do list is. It comes up with the to do list and then it does it for you. It's like it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, I figured you need to do this, and then it's just like, oh, I already did it. Go go sit
I feel
watch the TV or
it
something.
sounds dystopian because the next logical step, like, oh, we don't even need you to like to ask you. We don't even need you. We're just gonna do our thing. Why we need you humans? Bye.
Yeah.
We are leaving. Uh, well, we'll see. Well, I mean, it's a crazy time coming. And another question, like, obviously, you use the AI with like your work and stuff. Do you use it like in any other, like everyday life? Like you said, Perplexity you use as your primary search engine. Do you use anything else? Like I asked people like if they interacted with it or not, and sometimes people say that it's more like a gimmick. They don't really use it. Me personally, I use it all the time. That feature, like the voice or recording, or just brainstorming.
Um, I mean, I haven't really done much of that recently. Like really, like I think I used to do that a lot more at the beginning of the year. It's like end of like 2023, beginning of 2024. I would like talk to ChatGPT almost every day. But like it
Mm-hmm.
was mostly helping me with work stuff. Like I'd help it, like I'd ask it to like summarize like research papers I was reading. I'd get it to like help me come up with like marketing plans and like designs for different things. Um, yeah, so that's kind of like it was always like in like it had something to do with something I was working on, or like something I was trying to learn. I would never really use it like other than outside of that. Like I didn't really use it to like keep like be like a second brain so much, like to keep
Mm-hmm.
notes and like do things like that. And still haven't really done that now. So
You
yeah,
never asked it like, "Hey, come up with a pickup line or something." A
um,
raised GPT.
yeah, there's actually so many of those apps. Like I've seen Riz GPTs like you give it a screenshot of like your DMs and then it's just like, hey, reply to
Hmm.
this for me. I'm just like,
Yeah.
what's the point of talking to people anymore?
Yeah, it reminds me of that South Park episode where the guys were asking AI to reply to their like girlfriends. I know I've seen South Park, but
I have
when
not
GPT
witnessed
came
what.
out, it was fun. It was kind of like, I mean, it basically predicted what happened in like what 6 months later.
Yeah,
So
that's
another question, since you've been to build space like what it was like 3 months or something, like in person, what was like your biggest lesson that you learned that you implement in Chesky and you have like a big result, or like some improvements?
Um, I think most of the lessons I took away from Build Space are like more mental, like kind of like what I really learned from being there is like how do you actually build something? If that makes sense, like
Mm,
how do you take an idea and actually start executing on it? Like what are the steps and like kind of what is the process you're going to go through day to day, and kind of what that looks like. There wasn't like obviously like there's things that they taught me that I was like implementing in Chesky, but they're like their whole thing is not they're going to tell you what to do. It's
mm-hmm,
more like they're gonna kind of show you how they've done things, like how they've like far the obviously the guy who like built the company who founded it, like he shows you kind of like how he's done things in the past, what's worked for him, and like how he's built things. And then you're just surrounded by a bunch of people. Like, well, one there's a students who are also like in the same place as you, which gives you like a lot of kind of like support and just like a really tight knit group of people that are all kind of similar, like minded. But then there's
mm-hmm,
also the team and like people from Founders Inc. who have like done this kind of stuff before. So like you can look to them for lessons like how to do like certain things. I guess an example yeah, so like before I went to Buildbase, I didn't really know anything about like analytics. I'd never really set up, um, like I never really like tracked data so much. I didn't even have like a real like database like store all my users' information, like start tracking stuff like that. So just like
mm-hmm,
talking, like getting people to talk me through that process and like what should I be tracking, how to set up Stripe, like how to talk to users, how to do things like that. Just like things you could learn by yourself, but like it would just take you so much more time and like trial and error. Like having
mm-hmm.
someone able like who's done it before, it would like give you more guidance on that. I think that was the biggest unlock for me, anyways.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And uh like, did you have some kind of synergy with other people? Do you like guys collaborate with other students per se, or
Hmm.
because I know Bill Space has the most diverse since they allowed like the musicians come in, the like artists, like creators, and but it's still majority software engineers, at least from my experience from like previous IRL event.
Yeah, a lot of software people. There were maybe four or five musicians, some hardware people, and like some people working on like I guess things that like have nothing to do with like either music. Like there was a girl, her name is Bonnie. I think her projects are the most like the most amusing to me, anyways. She ended up they started working on like like gift deceptive gift boxes, like a chair that you wrap and you put a card in it, and like people are surprised. Then she was like building like a random stuff with a 3D printer. She ended up like selling 10K worth of bookmarks. I was just like, this is
Wow.
crazy.
Oh yeah, I've seen the video. I've seen the build space. That was
So yeah,
pretty random. Yeah, it was the most fun I think I've seen project come out from build space.
yeah. So that was
So
really funny.
yeah.
Um, yeah, Daniel was working on like the block, which was like a hardware device that like helps you like reduce your screen time. He did
Hmm.
pretty well. Like I learned a lot from him as well. Like even just like sharing insights and like even sharing like what kind of books he's read and like how it influences mindset around certain things. That was pretty helpful. Um, yeah, just like being in the space, like you just get to talk to like we're literally like around each other. Like I would be there for like 12-hour days basically. Like I'd wake up,
Hmm.
I'd come there like 8, 9 a.m. I'd leave at like 9, 10 p.m. I'd just like be around these people the entire day, and like you really get to know them, and then you get to like have conversation. You get to see what they're doing and like have conversation, like understand like kind of what they're going through, and learn the lessons like alongside them. Cause like if someone learns a lesson in the place, like they're like you're able to like learn that lesson with them basically because you're able to like just see them going through it. So I think yeah, like I said, just like being around them and like being able to like share in that experience and like talk to them about like their daily like what they're going through, like how they're handling things, like how they're processing things, like how they're learning and moving forward. I think that was like again the biggest takeaway I had from it, and like how I collaborated with them because I like we obviously working on all different things, so like we're not like I'm gonna go like have someone write code for me or anything like that, but like just learning
Hmm.
from them. Um, yeah, in that way.
Oh, that's cool. So right now for this project, is it more like solopreneur way you're going to, or are you trying to find a co-founder and maybe like, trying something bigger?
Right. Yeah. So to this point, it's been like fully bootstrapped. So like
Hmm.
I've done basically everything by myself. In the past month, I've started working with one guy. His name's David. He's helping me run the Instagram account. So like he's making
Hmm.
content, helping me get like people to the website, basically distribution stuff. As I've kind of like I said, like the past 2 weeks, I've been focusing a lot more on like I guess the sales side of it and like how do I get people, how do I get people starting to start converting and like really like engaging the audience that's coming to the app now.
Hmm.
Excuse me. So I've kind of been realizing that like I only have so much time in the day because first of all like I have to work with my content guy to like what is the right content to be producing like get more people in. I have to
Hmm.
like understand and like work those leads and like kind of talk to these people and like understand like what they want, like get feedback from them from the app, and I also have to like implement that feedback, like improve the product, think about like what's the biggest thing for the product. So like it's a lot to do for my like by myself. So I'm thinking about like expanding and trying to build a team now, but those like very recent thoughts that I'm really just starting to get into and like starting to explore. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Hmm.
Definitely open to a co-founder who can like anything that's like supplementary to my skills, like something I don't know how to do myself, or like something that would be like really easy or like really good for me to like offload to someone and like have them like be really good at that one thing. Yeah, so like looking like starting to look for people like that, and then seeing kind of where that goes.
Hmm. Do you have like some ways are you reaching out? Do you like register for Y Combinator, or are you just like reaching out to people on like online or something?
Um, yeah, so I have a couple people in mind that I'm like trying to reach out to. I'm trying to talk to, and then we'll see how that goes. And then from there, we have to like figure out where to get like more leads on what a co-friend, like who a co-friend could be, and like what that would look like.
Hmm.
So like I said, like very early, like I've kind of made the decision like very recently, like within the past like week or so. So
Oh,
don't
okay, okay.
really
It's
explore it
very
so much.
fresh. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, well, we can wrap it up. How can people find you and follow your work, check out your work, tell them about it?
Yeah, so like I mentioned a couple times, we have an Instagram account, chesky.lol. That is how you can find
That
us on
LOL.
Instagram. That is also the domain name. So if you search chesky.lol in your browser, that's how you can get to
Yeah.
the website. But yeah, I'm on Twitter. Um, but I don't like, yeah, I guess underscore broski tweets on Twitter. So I don't tweet
Hmm.
so much anymore. But like sometimes, like I'll share my learnings. But yeah, that's kind of me.
That's cool. Okay, yeah, we're gonna leave it in the description below. So yeah, yeah. Thank you for joining me for this podcast. I get to learn some stuff. It's pretty cool. So I wish you a good luck with your project, and we'll see how it goes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me and asking good questions. Make me think a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And everyone, subscribe and yeah, follow.